Hey everyone, and welcome to Almost Cancelled. I'm Peter, that is Connor, and we are going to talk about Stranger Things 2, Chapter 7, The Lost Sister. Full spoilers for the episode, as always. That was smooth. That was a smooth
It was
intro.
way better than normal.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
smooth.
you had to drop the episode.
I did. But you know what? Sometimes you have to drop things to make it tighter, make it work.
Yeah,
And
yeah, it was way better.
that's what worked there. So, yeah. So as we kind of guessed, and people in the comments let us know we were right anyway. But like this was going to be an episode that was away from Hawkins. We weren't going to get the resolution to that cliffhanger. This was 11, and her looking for this other girl who she refers to as her sister because we're both in the lab together. Um, that's number 8, who we find out is named Kaylee. So yeah, so we'd heard that this was divisive. This episode, the fan base apparently split in this one, and I'm not super sure. I mean, I think my one complaint would be, yeah, you feel like you're taken away from the main plot for an episode, sure, but do you hate it? You give me this funny
I'm
look.
not, I like moments. I don't
Uh,
like it as an episode.
okay. Um, I don't feel particularly strongly. I watched it. I like some moments a lot. And some of it's whatever.
I
But
don't understand why a lot of it exists.
okay, why?
I mean, a lot of it I think is kind of pointless. You know, like this whole group of characters that's what we opened the season on. This is what we were sold the season on. You know, this is what before we got anything else, and it was just this. I don't know. I'm kind of really disappointed by it.
Oh no, I don't feel that at all. I don't. Well, first of all, you're not sold on the season on it. Like just because it's the
Okay, I
opening
mean
scene, that's not.
that's no, but that's like the closest thing it has to a hook in the opening. It's like, oh, you know, okay, there's this girl out there. She's got powers as well. She's one of them. And then it was just okay. She's just going around on killing some of the doctors, and I don't know. Didn't do anything for me.
Okay. um, I just don't feel that strongly one way or the other. It's fine. Like whatever. Um, well, for a start, we're not done with them. Like they're not done and finished. Like we'll see them again.
Yeah, yeah.
Probably not this season, but we'll see them again.
I know. I'm just disappointed by what it amounted to this season.
I don't know. I wasn't really expecting anything from it. I guess. Like I wasn't like once I realized we weren't getting them like after the next couple of episodes and episodes 2 and 3. I'm like, okay, we're just saving them till they show up, whatever that's going to be now.
I just think kind of maybe if I hadn't had that scene before, maybe this wouldn't have bothered me as much. And
No,
you know,
see,
if
I disagree. I completely disagree with that. I think if we didn't have that scene before, this would feel far too random.
yeah.
I
It
honestly
would.
feel like if we had this tangent episode where Elle goes off to the city and finds this group of punks who live in like this,
But that's what it
abandoned
feels like
building.
to me anyway, to be honest.
I don't think it feels like that to me. No, I disagree with that statement. Um, yeah, I don't have a problem with this episode. Like, I mean, yeah, arguably we shouldn't have taken a full episode to go and do it, but I actually don't have a problem with most of the main beats.
That's the thing. I like moments, but a lot of it just wasn't working for me.
All right, we'll go into it. What wasn't working for you?
What wasn't working? Okay, the pacing as a whole, like the motivations of this group is really unclear. I get why, Kaylee is doing this. I don't understand any of the other characters.
Mm,
Like I don't understand. I mean, they're going, "Oh yeah, we're a group. We're all freaks. You know, we're outcasts." Why? Like what? I don't understand.
do you need to yet?
I'd like to have some idea. I don't know who any of these people are. You know, if I'm going to spend an entire episode with them, I'd like to know something as to why they're just going along on this hit squad mission.
Yeah, I'm not really that fussed about that. Like, I feel like we might get more of them later, we might not, and if we don't, I'm not really that bothered because it's all about Elle's journey for me. Like these other characters, I don't really think I'm supposed to care about them in any great capacity.
I don't need to care. I just need to understand. I don't understand why this other group of I get like I said, I get why Kaylee's going after these the people who did this to her. But all these other why are they going along with it? Why are they just going? Yeah, sure, we'll come and kill these dudes with you.
I don't,
Makes no sense to me.
but why do you need to know? Just because
Because
you're not
it's
told a reason in this episode doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
well, no, that's what I'm saying. It might exist, but I think I feel like I do need to know because I don't understand why they're all just going along with this. I'm told they're freaks and oh, we're going to do this, do that, but it doesn't do anything to show me why.
but we're on this journey with Elle, right? Everything's from her perspective. She doesn't know either. Like, to her, this is just this weird group of misfits that she doesn't really understand. They're all these weird characters, and for me, it works because she's my conduit into this entire thing. Everything's from her perspective, and because of that, she doesn't understand why these people are helping Kaylee. And, like, I don't know, like, it just doesn't bother me that much. Like, I don't feel the need to know this stuff.
I guess the difference is she doesn't really understand that it's weird that they're all following her for doing this mission.
Yeah, I guess she never really questions it because she's not that fussed, and I guess maybe to me that just means that we don't have to be that fussed either. Like, it doesn't really matter. At least right now it doesn't matter. Maybe we'll find out more later, maybe it'll become more apparent later if we actually have to spend more time with these characters, which we might. And I imagine we will. I imagine this is not the last we've seen of Kaylee and our little...
I'd be surprised.
But no, I like... It's funny because going into this knowing it was divisive and knowing that some people were adamantly against it, for me, like... I don't think it's perfect. I didn't come out of this thinking, oh, that was great. I loved that side trip to the city and I loved all these other characters. But there's nothing about it that makes that I came out of going, oh man, that was a waste of time, or this was that, or this. I'm angry that they did this.
I think part of it is an extension of the entire Elle's entire thing this season of just, okay, she's separate, she's doing this thing. I get that it's character beats for her, but it's not fitting in narratively overall for me at this point. I get it's introducing these ideas, these bigger things for the future of the show, but looking at it as a season, as this story, it feels like a lot of wasted time right now.
I don't think I agree with that. I actually think this episode justified most of her plot for me so far.
Really?
Yeah. Her like hearing Hopper's message. Like, we actually get to see that she hears it. She actually,
See, that's one of the moments I like.
Yeah, her getting to hear that, her thinking of Mike and seeing that Mike and Hopper are in trouble, there's something going on back in the town. Like, all those moments where she has to make the choice to, I'm not going down this path. Or the moment where she's going to kill this guy who worked at the lab and was one of the guys who hurt her mother, and she chose not to. Like, all that stuff worked for me. Like, it was all about how she was kind of going down this other path separate from everyone else. And she makes the choice to turn back and says, no, that is home, that is family. And that's what she says at the end of the episode when she's on the bus back. She says, no, I'm going home. So for me, that stuff works. I wouldn't have minded, though, if this was maybe, rather than being a whole episode, maybe split up a little bit and just treated as a subplot throughout the last couple, which maybe would have cut down on some of the fat that you didn't like.
It probably would have. Because like I said, I think I like the core beats and, the moments, like I'm saying here. But overall, as a whole episode, it wasn't working, coming together for me. So maybe, like you say, if those moments spread over like 3 episodes instead, would have worked a lot better.
Yeah. But honestly, I was waiting for it to be problematic. I was waiting for it to annoy me because I knew people didn't like it, and it never did.
I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty annoyed once I met all these characters. They were pretty annoying for the most part.
No, I wasn't. No, see, I like the whole thing to me was like, the show often taps into like, other 80s kind of things, right? And this whole idea of Elle going through the city and everyone's an asshole. The guy who bumps into her and she's like, yeah, mouth breather. Nice callback to season 1.
Well, that was nice.
And she's going through this really seedy part of town, and it's all these nut jobs next to the barrels with the fire and all the rest of it. It was like super like homeless territory in the city, and it's not New York. It was I think it was Chicago, but like same sort of vibes that you'd get in one of those kind of locations in like an 80s movie, and all that was kind of working for me. The music was working for me, and yeah, like. To me, that this group of characters, they were kind of that odd group of misfits that you'd get out of one of these movies, and
yeah, but usually the group of misfits aren't just randomly killing people.
That's true, but you just have to kind of assume they have their reasons.
That's just not good enough for me.
I'm not saying it has to be good forever. I'm saying right now it doesn't matter that much.
Maybe not, but it does to me is the problem.
But I don't think I really don't care that much because I'm here because of what Elle's going through and why she wants to, or why she would consider killing them, or why she doesn't want to kill them.
It's and Liza, I think the Elle moments are what are the good parts of the episode. It's all this other stuff, seeing this group that we spend a lot of time with this group, and I don't know anything about any of them. I don't understand why they're there. I just don't get why all this stuff is in the episode at all.
What would be there instead?
I don't know. Like I said, this is why I think if you split it up over 3 episodes, you can cut out most of that stuff entirely, and it doesn't have to be there at all.
So it's, because you're saying I don't understand why this is there, but or you don't understand why they're doing this. And I'm saying it doesn't matter. The whole point is that Kaylee found this group of misfits. She's found people who kind of accept her, but it's in this sort of darker path. It's this sort of path of revenge, right? Which is ultimately the point of the episode, is that Eld says she's not about that. She's not about vengeance. She's, she refuses to kill the guy. Yeah. She sees he has kids. She makes those choices, and she decides she doesn't want to go down this path. It's kind of the yeah, to compare it to like superheroes and stuff, it's kind of like the moment of the superhero saying, "No, I'm not going to be this. I'm going to be better. I don't want to be a vigilante. I want to be Batman." Essentially, is the choice she makes to an extent, in that moment. And the group represents just the misfit society. It represents that. They, in and of themselves, I don't think their characters are that important.
I get it. I just think I spend too much time. You know, like these moments of Eld making these decisions are legitimately good. Like, I'm not criticizing those. The problem is I spend too much time between moments where it feels like I'm just sitting around waiting for the next thing with Eld to happen.
I don't think you spend that much time with them without her, though.
No, she's there, but a lot of the big beats, you know, she's just kind of in the scene. You know, there's not actually doing anything for a lot of it.
Well, yeah, but it's showing you like how what their life is like. They're robbing a store. They're like this poor guy who runs this store. They're terrifying half to death, and you know might have hurt him. I mean, Elle hurts him, right? But again, it's pushing her beyond that line. She's doing something she shouldn't be in that scene. She's crossing a line, and it's making you think, oh, will she go down this path? And deep down, I'm thinking, no. By the end of the episode, she's going to make the right choice. She's going to turn back and say, no, this isn't for me. But each thing is showing her that she is going down this way.
I wonder if that's part of why it bothers me. You know, like you say, you know, we know by the end of the episode it's going to be...
Because even when she first meets this group, and obviously at first, like, you know, they don't like her very much and they're kind of hostile, but then Kaylee comes in. Her and Kaylee go away and they talk about their past, and she does the whole trick with the butterfly, and she's like, oh yeah, I make people see things. And then when she comes back and she introduces them to the rest of the team, it's like... It's adding to this idea of the appeal of why Elle might want to actually join this group in this life. There is a team, there's a family here of some dynamic. And even it's very similar to the group of kids in a lot of ways, because she describes them all by their role, kind of like how the kids do with the D&D. Like, no, she's her eyes, he's the muscle, or the warrior, I think was the term. But it was like there was that word. I'm like, oh, this is exactly like the kids with the D&D classes. It's the exact same thing. And I think that's what made it appealing, because I could see how she compared it to that and how it felt kind of comfortable, even though it was this, you know, weirdo group of people with, you know, by the way, every single one of them had extremely bizarre haircuts. I'm just going to point that out there. At first I thought the big guy, what was his name? Funshine. I thought he was bald, and then after a while I'm like, wait a minute, no, he's got like hair at the back, but it's not like, it's just like one kind of braided like tail at the back, but he's otherwise completely bald. And I thought that was funny. Then
his name is the best part.
Funshine's a great name. And then Dottie had pretty wacky hair. Obviously, the Mohawk did. I mean, Mick, by comparison, probably had the least wacky hair, because it was just kind of big and bushy. But so in this group, she looked like she had the most normal hair ever, but everyone else was like wacky.
Definitely.
And then they had to like sleaze up Elle's hair by like like, oh no, we're going to make you up before we go out. Yeah, we're going to make you one of us.
Yes, and she was bitching.
Because the house is bitching.
Yeah, that's all I could think of as well.
That's all I could think of. That is a reference to the current season of The Flash, in case you don't get that. I won't spoil it, but that's what
that is all I could think of.
So no, I think it's more about, as a group, what they represent in terms of a potential family and appealing. Even though to us, I don't think they seem that appealing, but you see how they compare to the kids in a lot of ways.
I get that. I think it goes a bit dark too quick, though. Like, you know, with the, you know, they're going into the store, and she kind of just goes along with it. She, you know, until she sees that picture of the family, she kind of really doesn't seem to have a problem with any of this.
I don't think she doesn't have a problem per se. It's just that she's willing to go along with it, and we've seen her do similar things before. We even get flashbacks in this to.
But every, like, you know, all those flashbacks, it's all about survival when she's been doing those things. When she's been hurting people before, it's all been, you know, lashing out at the people who, like, at the people who hurt her.
Yeah, but to be fair, this moment in the store, the guy's got a gun out. It kind of get into that line. She's stopping it from escalating any further.
Yeah.
It is kind of dark, sure, but it's not like super vindictive. Also, I love that she almost grabs an apple and then be like, "No, wait, there's Eggos in the freezer, right? I'm having boxes and boxes of those." But yeah, but it's also kind of the whole idea of this bad influence of this group kind of again try to turn her to the dark side, as it were. As for the big emotional moments, though, all of which I think paid off in spades. Obviously, seeing that she hears Hopper's message.
Yeah, I think that might be the highlight of the episode.
Proper touchy moment for me. And then later on, when she goes back into the psychic realm and she sees him standing there, kind of in real time at the cliffhanger from the last episode, and he's walking around in the scrubs and he's like kind of nervous, and then she sees Mike try to get in, and it's like, no, we need to. It's a trap. Something's going on.
She's going to be too late, right? If this is real time.
I don't think she's showing up next episode. Maybe at the very end of the next episode, but I think she'll show up and save the day in the finale.
That makes sense.
That'd be my guess at this moment. But no, I am super excited about her returning to the group. I think she's been maybe too separate in the season as a whole, but I didn't have a problem with it specifically in this episode, because in this episode it was specifically dealing with all of it. It was specifically her going through all those emotions of making a choice.
I think part of that's it's the last straw sort of thing. It's like, okay, she's been separate all season, and now it's like, okay, here's an entire episode of her separate. And it's just, like if it had been just this without all the rest of it being separate, it probably wouldn't have been as bad.
Yeah. Oh, but then we wouldn't have seen her for like most of the season, probably.
No, that's true. That would be worse.
Yeah, and that would be weird. Like I say, I don't think it's perfect. I don't think like I would. I mean, yeah, I think this group of characters could be a bit more likable, perhaps. Like I would agree with that. But I don't know, like because I kind of like, because it's like, no, we're back home now. It's not like we're sticking with these characters for much longer. I didn't have a problem with like not knowing their motivations, and I didn't have a problem with like the other things you were bringing up with this.
I just like you say, they're not likable. It's they're downright unlikable when they're all going, yeah, sure, let's go kill this guy.
Yeah,
and I say the only one who makes sense for that is Kaylee, because she has this personal vendetta. The others are just going, yeah, sure, we'll kill a guy.
Yeah, I just have to assume there's more to it than that, probably.
Yeah,
but I'm not fussed because it's not about them, and that's why it doesn't bother me that much.
It's not, which was I don't think it's the worst episode ever. Like, I mean, it's the worst episode of this show, but I don't think it's the worst episode of TV. I like the main moments with Elle. I think the moments land well. I just think as all the stuff in the middle I can kind of do without.
It just didn't bother me. Like it's not even like I think I have a much higher opinion of it as a whole. It's just all the things you're complaining about just don't bother me that much.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Because they're there to just kind of serve their purpose, and it's for her story. And that moment where she's like trying to like move the big like train car or whatever it is, the big container. And it's basically the scene out of X-Men First Class where Magneto's trying to move the satellite for the first time because it's really big and heavy, and like Xavier's behind him, like think of something emotional and something that causes you great distress and happiness. You need rage and serenity have to come together. It was basically that scene with her like doing the same thing, and she was having all these flashbacks as she was doing it. Music was very good, but music was very good throughout this entire episode. I thought there was lots of moments that were making me go, oh, that sounds really good.
There is, but I've had that throughout the whole season, so
that is true. That's felt more persistent with the music though. I felt like there was less quiet time.
Yeah, I think that's just to do with the hustle and bustle of the city.
Yeah, probably
make it feel more active.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Do you agree that it's the worst episode of the show?
That's
at least the season.
That's a funny question because I feel like objectively it might actually work out to be the worst episode of the show, but I don't think that's fair in the sense that like it worked well enough for me that I don't think it was bad.
No, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's a bad episode, but objectively worse than the others.
I think it has more's going on, and it's got more emotional beats than say the first 2 or 3 episodes this season. But alternatively, those 2 or 3 episodes had all the other characters and had more. I didn't say enjoyable. You're putting words in my mouth.
No, I'm saying that. That's what I
You're
think.
saying that, but like it had all the other characters, it had more fun stuff going on, like spread out throughout lots of people. But I think the emotional beats in this one are higher than anything in those episodes.
That's fair.
So I don't know. I don't have a problem with this episode that much.
Good. I envy you.
I mean, yeah, like, are their motivations a bit thin and stuff? Sure, but I don't know. It just didn't faze me that much.
No, that's fair. I'm jealous. So you get to. I mean, when I rewatch this, I'm gonna go, ugh, this episode, and I'm gonna have to watch it.
I'm not going to feel that way, especially in a rewatch, because now it's arguably would be worse because we're doing it one per day. When I'm rewatching this and I'm just binging through it, I am not even going to think about it.
No, that's fair. I mean, it's one of those where it's like, ugh, this one, but I've got to watch it because it feels like, okay, it's quite important, you know, overall to the part of the story with Elle's story. It is important to get the end of that and get it coming back.
Maybe this is just as simple as I heard people didn't like this, so I went in expecting not to like it, and just never hit that point for me. Like, it was almost the expectation worked for me because I was just kind of
yeah, it could be.
I'm waiting for it to piss me off, and it just never happened.
Been there before.
I don't know. I thought it was fine. I thought her beats worked really well.
That's it though. You know, it's saying, oh, it's fine, but to me, fine is not good for this show. Like, everything else has been well above fine.
Okay, sure, but the emotional beats are higher than a lot of other episodes.
Yeah, no, it's true.
You know, they're very climatic. They're very big for her character, and her making her choices not to go down this path. And I like that she realizes that is home. She doesn't go back to her mother because obviously her auntie kind of betrays her at the start, and she makes some calls, which, you know, as a responsible adult, it's actually the right thing to do.
Probably what she should do. Yeah.
But like, she doesn't decide to go back there. She's like, no, I'm going back home. I'm going back to Hopper. You know, she doesn't think of her mother. She thinks of him dancing when she's in distress, because that's what your mind goes to.
It's a terrifying image in itself.
Yeah, but no, I am fine with this episode. I think it did a lot for Eleven's character. If you want to debate and say it shouldn't have taken this much time or it shouldn't have had an whole episode devoted to it, like, I'll hear those arguments, but I'm not.
No, it's why I was very clear at the start by saying I like the moments. Right. You know, the moments that matter are really good, and I do like those, but they just don't make up for the rest of it for me. I'm
just not like. Just to go back to the initial complaint of these people aren't that likable, which they're not. I agree they're not that likable. I think that works for me because I think from the start I'm like, no, the whole point is she has to decide that this is not the group she should be with. So to me, they feel like they should be unlikable.
No, I get that. I just think it makes it a less enjoyable episode to watch because going back to like a few episodes of this season where the emotional beats aren't there. It's not as strong in that sense, but every scene is characters that I like. There's banter going on. Whereas here, I'm just going, ugh, shut up.
Okay.
So it just makes it more of a chore to watch because of that.
Look, arguably it's the weakest episode of the season, but I'm not that, like... I did not come out of this feeling negative, and I wasn't expecting you to either, which is why I was just noticing your face during the introduction, and I'm like, oh, no, he didn't like this very much, okay.
See, it's funny, when you said, oh, you know, when you started the sentence going, oh, this has been really divisive, I thought you were going to go, and I see why. And then you were like, and I don't get it, and I was the one that was confused.
Yeah, it's okay, it's fine. Like, it's not the end of the world, and we've done it now.
I'm glad it's over.
I'm okay. I'm okay with these characters coming back. But like Kaylee, I feel like Kaylee has to come back. We have to do more with her.
I definitely. I think she was the most interesting part of the other group. She was the only one who got anything to do. So, yeah. I mean, she was definitely more likable, at least. Yeah.
Well, she's more conflicted, and I think the idea of her being Dark 11.
Yeah, and I think this is the thing. I'm saying, oh yeah, she's going around killing people. I understand why she's killing people. Like, I get her mindset. I understand it. I understand why 11's tempted by that specifically.
And I think the moment she like proper turns into the dark version of 11 is when she tries to use like, you know, she tries to trick 11 by showing her like, you know, Papa. Like, and like trying to manipulate her, and that's like, oh no, now you're manipulating. This is like, you're actually doing proper evil, shady stuff now in terms of our character that we care about, and that's where you've crossed the line. Not that you didn't cross the line with murdering people, because clearly this was just brutal
but like I
vengeance.
said, it was you understood her mindset. Because I mean, like I said, we saw Elle kill loads of people last season. You know, those doctors specifically, the ones who were actively trying to hurt her. We saw her lash out at them.
Yeah, it was defense though.
It was, but I kind of it's like this is an extension of that, so I understood it. But so that wasn't a problem.
And also, I think as she gets older, she'll realize that she didn't have to do that, and she'll have better control. Like, it's kind of the thing where she'll look back and go, "Oh, like now I understand my powers. I can control them better, and I don't feel as scared. I can be confident and in control." And I think that's a big thing. All right. Well, we're back to your regular schedule, Stranger Things tomorrow.
Yeah, finally get some Demogorgon dogs.
I want some Demogorgons. So we'll be there tomorrow. So let us know what you think of this episode in the comments below. Are you with Connor? Do you just flat out kind of dislike it, even if it has some high points? Are you with me? And it's fine, and it has some high points, so it's overall pretty decent and good. So there you go. So that is episode 7 of Stranger Things season 2. Let us know what you think in the comments. Like, subscribe, all that stuff. Get us on Twitter at mailed_fuzz for channel updates. If you want to support the channel, head over to patreon.com/mailfuzztv. You can do that over there. But otherwise, that is us. So thank you once again. We'll see you next time. Have you got any vanilla?